welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening, good night for Friday Night Smackdown. How we all doing? Let's get right to it for the Stampede. We had a lovely show for tonight. We had the semifinals of the SmackDown version of the King of the Ring of the Women's End Man. We had Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga. He was not snarling, but he was like a snake, I guess. We have Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax, and she was dominant. She was feisty, and she's coming for the title. She is showing it to Bayley that I will see you this summer. Hold my title ready. And then we had a Cody and Logan segment. We had a Grayson Waller effect with a crash party, and then a 3-on-3 match. And we had Chelsea Green versus Bayley, the WWE Women's Champion, and non-match. So it's a good discussions to happen tonight. Without further ado, you heard the rundown, you heard what's happening, so let's get ready for the show. How we all doing tonight? Legendary Vash here for tonight, and we have dropped this box. How we doing for this Friday Night Smackdown before the Saudi Arabia show that is at 1 p.m. EST tomorrow, Saturday, 5:25.
I'm doing pretty good, honestly. I won't be able to watch it because I have stuff going on tomorrow, so I probably won't be able to watch it until I get home.
Same. I won't be able to watch it until nighttime, so we haven't confirmed if there is a PLE coverage for this weekend, guys. So stay tuned if there is one on the YouTube community tab or on the Twitter side if you guys still use that app /X. As always, the handles down below: AniMa W3 Studio, at Legendary Vash, at Drop This Box, and at Watkins MW. Hashtag as always, Weebs of the Ring. And if you're at MomoCon this weekend, you could definitely find Watkins roaming around. So definitely say what's up to him if you see him there. If not, you got to do a stunner. But Drop, how did you feel about this overall SmackDown?
I thought it was a decent SmackDown, really. Nothing crazy. I mean, the main things we were really focusing on when it came to SmackDown overall was just finding out who the last two participants are going to be for Lyra and Gunther, and it was kind of obvious the direction they were heading
Yeah.
because we spoke about it on Monday. If Lyra won, more than likely would have been Nia. If Io won, it more than likely would have been Bianca. And then if Jay won, more than likely it would have been Tonga. And if Gunther won, it more than likely would have been Randy. So we pretty much got our predictions right. We got Lyra versus Nia tomorrow, and then we also have Randy versus Gunther tomorrow. So both of those should be very interesting. And I've seen
So
a lot of people put out their predictions where they think it's going to be Gunther and Nia walking out, which could be a possibility, but I'm not entirely sure if they're going to do two heels walking out with King and Queen of the Ring, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's always like room to do new things that they haven't done before, so they could easily do that. But we're just having to wait and see how things played out because I'm not sure. Like you probably did see it earlier. Triple H was going over whoever wins the tournament,
yep.
which is more than likely going to be a thing moving forward for this. They're going to get a championship match at SummerSlam, which I kind of like because you have Royal Rumble being the way to WrestleMania, and then you have King and Queen of the Ring, their way of getting the main event spot of like SummerSlam when it comes to like championship matches that either man or woman win.
I agree. We also did get a SummerSlam news, but without further ado, let me say the intro since I forgot to get into it. So, like Watkins always starts a show with anime in their souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control. We are the trio for tonight, the duo of weaves who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. Allow us to be the voices like Randy Orton inside your head as we go through the wrestling event of this evening. Give us our thoughts and predictions on what's to come for tomorrow's PLE and provide an experience
Oh,
exclusive to all nerds.
oh,
Grab your steel
oh
chair,
yeah,
yell for the table,
yeah,
and
I'll
get
have them.
put through an experience like none other. Brought to you by AniMa W3 Studio. This is Weebs of the Ring podcast, and welcome to episode 31 of the show. So, one of the big news that came out about SummerSlam, like Drop said, we have the winners of the King and Queen will be to fight their golden ticket at SummerSlam. Additionally, they also got announced that in 2026, SummerSlam will be 2 nights. How did you feel about that as well, Drop?
I honestly have no issues with it really because I feel like if you're gonna have like WrestleMania doing something like that, you might as well have like SummerSlam do it because SummerSlam is practically a summer WrestleMania as it is. So I feel like it's a good idea. I have no issues with it.
Same. Honestly, I have no issues with it either. Like, it's something that to me that feels very obvious and feels like it was bound to happen because, like you said, those are the big shows of how they always promoted it. With the summer, it's such a big event, and they always had a stacked card for SummerSlam. So it makes sense that in 2026 will be a 2 night event. What I wonder is that if it succeeds well, will they continue in the same routine for the next couple of years, having a 2 night event for SummerSlam, or is it a one-time thing? So that'll be very curious to see on what happens down the line.
I'm hoping it's like a ongoing thing though. Like I'm pretty sure it'll be successful. I'm not really surprised at that. It probably will be successful either way, but I'm hoping it's an ongoing thing. Like I just keep it WrestleMania and SummerSlam. I really wouldn't like I wouldn't like go crazy and do it for Survivor Series and Royal Rumble too. Like you don't want to oversaturate it. Like just if you want to do a WrestleMania, SummerSlam, that's fine. You could space those out, but throwing 2 nights this, 2 nights there, you don't have to do that for every big pay per view. If you want to do those two, that's fine. Just don't oversaturate it.
Same. I agree 100% with that. So without further ado, like you said about the pay-per-view or the PLE is what Triple H wants it to be called now. Let's get straight to the story of the night. The two big things that happened on this evening. The first match that started the show, it was the Queen of the Ring semifinals. We have Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax. I missed the first 10 to 15 minutes drop. Did I miss anything important of the match or any promos such as?
Not necessarily. I mean, there's a couple big spots here and there, but you didn't really miss anything like that wild. I mean,
Okay.
jumping into them. I mean, mainly what really happened when it comes to big spots is like Bianca lifted up Nia and she did a power bomb
Yeah, I
and
saw that one.
she was attempting to do the KOD, which she normally probably could, but she was trying to sell her knee, so she couldn't really perform that move because of the whole knee injury that was like ongoing throughout this whole storyline with her and Queen her in her Queen of the Ring tournament. But other than that, that's really it.
Yeah, the match
And
overall. Yeah,
Lyra was also watching the match as it was going on.
which I was happy because this reminded me of when it came to last year during the fall. It was with Becky. She was fighting somebody on the main roster, and Lyra was her opponent for for the following Tuesday, and she
Yeah,
was also there watching the match. So I love how that's a callback, and also like her still watching and seeing her next competitor. Like it shows that she's part of the tournament, she's part of the game, and she's part of seeing like who will be her opponent for tomorrow. So that's really a good addition for that.
yeah, I like that.
For the match overall, for me, from the last 8 minutes or less that I saw of the match, it was good, entertaining. It was a good sell about Bianca, even after when the ref and the doctor w- was checking her at the match. So that was really, very believable. It makes us know, like, oh, this has to be a serious thing. Like, what's going on here? So it was pretty interesting to see that be the main aspect to be believable about Bianca. For Nia, I love how she always tries to bully our girl, Killer Braxton. And she's like, yo, you gotta get in the game. Like, you gotta be faster. You gotta catch up. And it's just like, literally, being the heel she is and talking shit to Lyra from the ring. And it was just showing the dominant side of her. So I really love that. That they're putting more emphasis on the heel side of Nia.
Mm. Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, Continue on about the Queen of the Ring and with Bianca and Nia. Nia winning. You said that your theory or your prediction is Nia winning that match. Is that your 100% theory? I mean, your prediction right now that you
Naya.
yeah that you want to lock
Uh,
in?
well, well, I'm a little torn on it because at the same time I can see Naya winning because as much as I want to see Lyra win from a fan's perspective, I would say go for it. But it's just hard for me to really think that they would let Lyra win. Like I think what they're doing with this is they're trying to make this like a good showcase match for Lyra because at least with her getting this far in the tournament and then having her participate in the finals, at least it shows that they have a lot of faith in her moving forward, that they actually allowed her, with her being a newbie on the main roster, they actually allowed her to get this far in the tournament. So at least the audience will know, okay, this girl has potential. We should keep our eyes on her and everything. So that's why I personally feel like Naya might take the win. But at the same time, Naya's just acting so cocky and thinking that she can do this and that. And she thinks that she's just going to walk out of this thing and win it with no issues at all. And sometimes when WWE does that, it sort of tells you in a way where, yeah, she's looking like all cocky in this whole scenario that's playing out right now. And I don't know if you know like the whole formula they typically do where it's like they have so and so stand tall before the before like the big match the following night for the pay-per-view.
And
It's
Nia,
kind of reminding me of that where it's like Nia's talking a lot of shit thinking she's gonna be on top. I'm still gonna say that Nia's gonna win, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they throw us off guard and have Lyra come out on top. Like because the way how Lyra for sure can't do her finisher on her or her Nightwing.
it would be pretty
So
interesting if she tried just to see how it
yeah,
would be possible. It would be pretty interesting to see that. By the way, I do love her finisher name to Nightwing. Like
yeah,
Nightwing, that's one of my favorite characters, and just to see that as a finisher is really amazing. Um, for Naya winning, I see the possibility. I see where you're
yeah,
torn of the half and half because for this one, it could go either way. Lyra being the underdog, have her win, give her an extra push. If Liv wins tomorrow, it sets up other seeds, so great opportunity for them.
yeah,
For Naya winning, she already is setting up versus Bayley in SummerSlam. So things already setting up. The looks, how a couple weeks ago before France, Naya, just pushed down, torn down Bayley and Naomi. So we have a lot of these possibilities to go either way. For me, it's hard to choose as well because with Lyra, I'm not a huge fan like you are yet, but I have been watching her for a while. She is very good at what she's doing so far, and I want to continue seeing her, succeed and continue seeing what she does. However,
yeah.
I see what you're saying from this night of 524 SmackDown. Naya was the one on top. She's the one that looks like she's about to win and, have the crown. And I see it.
Yeah.
Like right now, if you have gunpoint at me at my head right now, I'll give Naya a 60% of winning and Lyra a good 40. And that's still a good chance. So right now, I'm going to lock that in.
I'm just thinking, like, if Nia does manage to beat her, how's she gonna beat her? The only way I can really think of is like some sort of roll up or something that catches Nia off guard. That's the only thing I can really think of. Like, I don't think it's gonna be like a cheap roll up or something, but it's definitely gonna be something that like catches her off guard, that puts her in a situation where she has no other way but to like win out of there. And then that move she did on Io, I can't really see her doing that to Naya. So that
Oh, hell
puts
no. Definitely not.
so it's like the way that Lyra is jumping into this, she's gonna have to like bring some new weapons to the fight like maybe do some different techniques that she hasn't utilized before, considering the kind of foe that she's going up against this time. Because if this was like a Bianca or like somebody else that was participating in the tournament, I could easily see her pulling off her usual stunts that she does in the ring. But since she's facing somebody that's a lot bigger than her, and only certain people that have that power, like Bianca and Jade, for example, they could pull off all those power moves, and also Rhea, they could pull off those sort of power moves on people the size of Nia Jax. It'll be a lot easier for them, but I'm not entirely sure how like Lyra is gonna like come out on top on this. But
Yeah,
I'm still gonna say Nia,
Naya.
but
Okay, we're two Nayas here.
at the same time, I'm hoping they catch me off guard with this one, because even with like both of them, we'll go over the men's later, but it's kind of like it could really go either way because there's a lot of things
So for
set up
Naya
with the both of them.
and Lyra, do you have like a 50-50%, or do you have like more like mine, like a 60-40, or do you believe it could go 50-50 for you?
Um, I can't say 50-50. I can't say 50-50. Maybe it's like probably similar to you, where I give a little more edge to Naya,
Yeah.
but maybe like that little tad bit Lyra could pull off a miracle, which it would definitely be like it would definitely be something, considering like this is her first pay-per-view on the main roster and she already made an impact that quick by winning Queen of the Ring. Like that's definitely something to brag about years to come.
Hell yeah.
Like imagine she's at a stage where she's like a lot higher than she is now, and she's cutting a promo on somebody and she's like, well, I made a huge impact when I first came to the main roster. I won the
Exactly.
Queen of the Ring just like that in a matter of a month.
Hey,
Like that it's
we already have our boy Carmelo trying to shoot shots, trying to interrupt people. So hey,
yeah.
if you're him, if Lyra could be her, you know she is the one that soars through the sky, or I forgot what's her phrase, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility tomorrow we will find out 1 p.m. EST is the start of the PIE. It will be an exciting event for the women's Queen of the Ring. It's the first time I'll be watching it in years, so I'm very excited for this. So without further ado, as you see from the thumbnail, as you see from our excitement of discussion for the past couple weeks, and I know Watkins is purely hurt because it sucks that he couldn't see the Gunther versus Ilja Dragunov a couple weeks ago, but we're getting this time for King of the Ring, the semifinal match happened. Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga, and Randy Orton, the Viper, came out on top that he will be versing the Ring General Gunther. I was about to call him King. Not yet. We still need to wait 24 hours or less. But how did you feel about this Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga?
I felt like going into this, Randy was going to come on top, like how I mentioned before. If Lyra won on Monday, more than likely we're getting Nia. So more than likely, with Gunther winning on Monday, we're going to get Randy. So I'm completely okay with this. And like I mentioned to you guys before, I wouldn't really be that big of a fan if it was like a Jay and Tonga scenario, because they don't need to build a bloodline story within the King of the Ring. You could easily do that outside the King of the Ring. That's what I was a little worried about when he had like Jay in the finals with Gunther, because that's why me and Watkins were like so open about that, and we're like, yeah, we don't want this happening. Because hypothetically, if Jay did pull the upset on Gunther, then yeah, this would have been like a whole bloodline story within the King of the Ring, and I wouldn't like that, mainly because I just feel like it takes away from King of the Ring. Like you want that to be separate, you want it to mean something. That's why you have people like Braun Breaker getting upset that they're not participating in the entire thing, because they're treating this tournament as like a really big deal. So I am very happy with the outcome, and this is also like a big moment for Gunther here, because he's facing like a future Hall of Fame right here, like already a legend in the business, Randy Orton. Like knowing how Gunther is going up against somebody like him that's on like that that's like on that level when it comes to like star power within the company.
He's in the
That
highest of the pyramid. You know, Randy
yeah.
Orton is the highest in the pyramid. He is the 14-time champion. He has all this resume. Even Wade Barrett during the documentary, during during the commentary, he said that you can count on your 5 fingers. No, no, no. Sorry. You can count on your one finger of the amount of things that he has not accomplished in WWE, and it's only one thing: King of the Ring. In my head,
Hmm.
wait, has Randy Orton cashed in the Money in the Bank before? I'm like, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, he has.
Oh, he has. Oh, cool. So that means
Hmm.
Wade Barrett was 100% right then. He has gotten everything as accomplishments as the future Hall of Famer. So that means he has not cashed the King of the Ring. So when I heard that for Wade Barrett, it still gave me the 50-50 for Gunther versus Randy tomorrow. Because
Yeah.
that to me is
See,
like, for Wade Barrett's comments, it's like, okay, that
hmm,
that means that they're trying to, have the checklist off for Randy. So that's pretty interesting. Or it could still go to Gunther tomorrow. But before we give into our predictions for tomorrow, I want to have the quick discussion about the match of Tonga and everything, about the bloodline, the backstage. We also got Paul Heyman was acting a bit nervous and speaking about how Lola Tonga couldn't come because of he couldn't cross the border, and he's a dangerous person, and how with Solo saying no words, I got everything covered, and Paul was like, hey, I'm still worried about these new people, the bloodline. This is why we was always very, very selective on who we bring. The last comment he also said he was about to say something bad about Tamatonga. But then Tamatonga came and surprised Paul, and it was an interesting line that Tamatonga said. He said that it's time to bring a real king back into the bloodline. That was interesting.
yeah, because they're probably looking at how the bloodline was run before, and it didn't really feel like it was, and it didn't really feel like it served like any sort of purpose. So, I mean, I'm guessing that's probably why
Yeah.
he brought that up, and that's probably the whole reason why they formed a new bloodline, because of how everything fell apart before, and they didn't really want to look back at that. They wanted to move forward and do something a lot better than that.
It's it was pretty interesting what was going on in the bloodline with Paul and what they were bringing up. I was very happy that they're still pushing the bloodline story. I'm very glad that that's still hanging on by the thread because a lot of people are kind of questioning a lot. We just gotta hope that what Triple H is cooking slash Paul slash Roman slash Rock with the bloodline is letting see what's going on here. Hopefully it succeeds and it plans out how they hope it is. But I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen with the future weeks after this King and Queen tournament with the bloodline and how it continues to evolve. That's what I'm more excited for because I want it to succeed. I want it to continue flourishing because we still need to hear about Jacob Fatu and to see if his brother also in the future comes. I think his brother is named Fela Fatu as well. So it'll be really interesting how everything intertwines within one another. Have any more comments about the bloodline stuff backstage?
No, that's it, right? That's it
Okay.
mainly.
Um,
Yep.
any more thoughts about the match itself? Because it was funny of how Tamatonga came out in his entrance, but dude was sliding like a snake. I was questioning like, what do they plan for you, acting like a
Oh.
whole snake type of viper? Like, was this a comment towards Randy, him being the cerebral assassin type of viper? So was this like a nod towards that?
I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, that guy's been on like a whole bunch of things, especially
Like
with last week. So I honestly couldn't tell
the
what
the
was going
memes that
on.
has came out since last week with the creators, with the memes in the whole community has been hilarious. I'm very happy to see the positivity of people making out a joke of him sounding like the Tasmanian devil, or the other things that Drop has said, Gremlins, and a few others. So it's just very hilarious as how this character of Tama Tonga is being portrayed on live television.
Mm.
Um,
I do like giving thoughts on like the overall match.
yes.
Like I expected it to go the way it did, so I can't really say that it was like out of this world, like amazing or anything. But I think the main highlight that we did see come out towards the end of that match was when KO returned.
Yeah. Also happy to see that when Randy got the win and Solo
Mm.
came to jump, I was like, fuck, continue the bloodline jump. Like, cool, sure. And I'm like, wait a minute, who can help him out? And I'm like, did KO fly out? And then boom, of course, KO came running. But the way he was running to the ramp, I felt like he was not trying to trip or something. I just felt like he was trying to like, oh my god, I'm running, I gotta be careful or some shit. Or if that's how he actually runs, that's on me, guys. I forgot.
Mm.
But it was very happy to see KO come here to defend Randy, and hopefully this little tag team of theirs continue, like the RKO team, because it literally is perfect branding. It's literally perfect. That's literally great for marketing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I agree with what you said, Drop. I don't have any much
Mm.
words to say about the match itself with Tamatonga. It went as predictable as it could be. Like you said, I saw this being the case. I saw this being the winners of the match with Randy. But for Tamatonga first PLE on WWE, no, I think this is his second actually. It was
Yeah.
good. I feel like he's doing much better in the showmanship and in the sales and him being his character, even though he looks like a crazy ravaged dog that hasn't been fed in days or weeks or months. But
Mm.
overall, he's doing the job he's getting paid for and he's being entertaining. So that's one thing I'm very glad for.
Oh yeah. There
Uh,
was one thing I forgot to mention
what's up?
in the first segment, but I'll save it for later because I don't want this to be like all thrown together in the podcast.
What I was gonna bring up, not that we've done with the match of Randy versus Tamatonga, let's discuss about the predictions for tomorrow's King of the Ring finals. We have Gunther versus Randy Orton, the Viper. Who do we think is going to be crowned the new king?
See, this is the one where I'm more 50-50 on
Same. I'm exactly
because
on
it
the
can,
dot.
because it can go either way. Because at first I was like all Gunther, and then once Triple H announced that whole thing where it's like whoever wins this gets a championship match at SummerSlam, then that started changing my answer because I was like, wouldn't they want to pull off like this big thing with Gunther at like Bash in Berlin? So what if they give like Randy like SummerSlam instead? Like that's what I was thinking of. Because at least with like Gunther on Raw and everything, and if there's like a feud built between him and whoever's the champion at the time, at least he could get a guaranteed championship match at
Yeah,
that pay-per-view because more than likely he's going to be one of the main highlights on that show to begin with.
I agree.
So as soon as Triple H announced that, I was like, okay, maybe things might head down that direction because you also have to look at what happened in today's show with Cody and Randy interacting backstage.
Ah, I
So
missed that one.
yeah, because it was a whole segment where like this actually is a good segue to our like next segment, but I'll just bring it up now. But it was pretty much like Cody heading to the ring to like meet with Logan and do their promos and everything. And Cody run across Randy. They had an exchange. They shook hands and everything. And then Cody ended up walking to the entrance so he can, go on the stage and cut that whole segment with Logan. But that right there was pretty much planting like little seeds between their eventual feud that a lot of people want to see between the both of them. Because as soon as those two were shown on screen, and now that you have Cody with like the main title of that brand, the whole crowd like popped and they went crazy for that. because they know it's coming in Cody's title run, that he's eventually going to come across Randy. So that's why I was starting to think, okay, it's 50-50 now, because it could like this is one of the ones I can say where no matter who wins this, I'll be satisfied. If Gunther wins, I'll be satisfied. If Randy wins, I'll be satisfied. So either way, there's really no bad outcome.
To add to your point, with Randy winning for SummerSlam, it gives him time that even if he's currently hurt or in pain from his back or from his injury, or if he needs to take a couple weeks off, just to rest, you don't need to build the Cody and Randy until the start of July that leads into August. So he could literally take off June off for a bit and come back in July like, yo, I came back because my match is in next month to whip or kick your ass or whatever, etc. So I feel like that's a great time for Randy to win. And like Wade Barrett said on this commentary, saying that the only thing that Randy has to secure in his bag as a Hall of Famer, as a future Hall of Famer, is the King of the Ring. So that'd be a great choice for him. On the flip side, I agree 100% of what you said about Gunther. Gunther, he's such a good drawer. And right now with Raw, he continues getting matches. He's continued to be in the main event. Michael Cole continues to bring up that he was the longest IC title reign of 666 days. So he's already is being told to the commentary and being reminded by the audience that even though he lost and doesn't have a champion, he still has these type of accolades of how well and how good of a wrestler he is. So I believe that if Gunther does not win tomorrow and becomes the King General Gunther, then it makes total sense that this could be safe for the Bash of Berlin in the next couple of months. Yeah. I agree 100%. At the end of the day, it still could go 5-0 to 5-0. 50-50.
Yeah.
And I'm okay if either of them wins.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I wouldn't have any problem with either of them.
So, Chad, let us know who you guys was hoping to win. Are you hoping for Randy? Are you hoping for Gunther? And what are you satisfied with the announcement by Triple H saying that whoever wins for the King/Queen of the Ring, they will have their title opportunity locked and loaded, secure bag for SummerSlam. And it seems like this will be moving forward unless things change and didn't like the idea and they want to make it much closer for the PLE, etc. Whatever, then it's a possibility that could be changed in the future. But at the moment, those people have a lock of a golden ticket for August. Other than that, you said that you want to transition into the Cody and Logan, because I was going to actually save that for our end. But unless you want to transition to it, let's get to it. So Cody and Logan had their segment of tonight's of the weekly stories. And it happened of Cody and Logan, not much, but very little, but straightforward of their interaction about brass knuckles, of Logan being a liar, Cody telling him like, yo, I know what you are, but you have an imposter syndrome. You try to act much more bigger than you are. So, Drop, how did you feel about this interaction? Because they had an interaction earlier today, or I believe it was last night, when they were doing the press tour.
Yeah, I missed the press tour.
Same.
Like, I didn't really know it was a thing. I didn't really recall seeing any advertisements for it. Otherwise, I would have watched it and I wouldn't really be confused with all the different kinds of clips that I saw online. But I thought the segment, honestly, like you said, it wasn't anything crazy. It was straight to the point. It was just pretty much Cody teaching Logan another lesson where he's a kid and he's playing little kid games, and Cody's trying to act like the superior person within the feud and telling him from right and wrong. And how to apply things to himself and actually take things seriously and grow from it instead of using the brass knuckles all the time to win every match. Like actually go out there and win a match clean without taking the easy way out by like distracting a ref and then punching somebody with the brass knuckles. So that's essentially what it was. It was pretty much like last week with Cody too, where when Cody and Logan were talking to one another and they were exchanging words, it was pretty much just another promo of like Cody talking down to Logan and just saying like how childish he is. That's essentially what it was. It was pretty much a repeat of what we saw from last week. Nothing crazy.
It was pretty interesting the way Cody and Logan was interacting. Like Chad, for example, Cody didn't even get the chance to say his line of, what do you guys want to talk about tonight? He literally, right once Cody was about to say something and say his line, he got interrupted by Logan's song. He came out, and Logan says, Cody, you may have more experience than me, but I'm smarter.
Oh
Logan
yeah.
also said, like, I gave Michael Cole my brass knuckles. I know how to play the game. Yeah, have an extra spare in your cargo pants, and you lying to the rep saying that I don't even wear Prada. These aren't even my pants. Like, boy, why are you wearing them then? Why would you wear stranger pants? You're a horrible liar already. And Cody says you got imposter syndrome and got another pair of brass knuckles right there beside you. And guess what? Literally 2-3 minutes later, he got proven right.
Yeah.
Like
Which
I love how Cody also give like kind of give like a shout out. Kind of had the ref guy, like he kind of give the ref some type of TV time. Like, hey ref, come here real quick. Can you check him and check me just to make sure that we both are not hiding any type of dangerous weapon that could be used? Cody's like, yeah, check me. Oh, good. And I love how Logan's cocky, like, yeah, he's not gonna find it. The ref's like, sir, I see some brass knuckles on your cockpit. Like, what? How did I get there? Never knew about those.
yeah, like I said, I would say probably like last week's segment was a little bit more intense with this one, but it really wasn't anything like that crazy,
No,
to
I
be
agree.
honest. Like you could definitely tell they were just trying to throw this in there for TV time, because I was talking about this with my friend at work. I was like, it always seems like after WrestleMania, especially when it comes to the build up with these pay-per-views in May, it always seems like there really isn't that much proper build up between these matches that they showcase. They're just thrown in there, especially when it comes to like Logan and Cody. There really isn't much story to that, but it's just a match thrown together because they want as much big names as they possibly can heading into this Saudi pay-per-view. And I know Saudi also loves Logan, so that's another reason why he's a part of this as well.
Hey, it makes sense. They kept showing us the audience of the other people around the country of the fans that were excited, were screaming and everything. So, hey, great for Logan. I do agree that this segment could have been better. It could have been more sweeter, and it could have been more on the nose and straightforward. But I feel like it
Yeah.
was a bit more comedy than actual story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was just Cody teaching Logan another lesson. That's essentially what it was.
Yeah,
So pretty much what.
he Cody even told him, like, until you get the time to take this serious of instead of a part time and full time
Yeah,
and be committed, then I will respect you more. But right now, I don't. I still see you as a kid, and he did call him kid too.
exactly. He doesn't look at him as an adult. He looks at him as a kid because of how he acts. You're running around with these little brass knuckles and stuff, trying to win matches that easily. You're a little kid. You're trying to take the easy way out. Cody had to go. Cody had to leave WWE, rebuild himself, make his own company, come back, and look at him now. Somebody who felt like they deserved a lot more when they originally came into the company left and rebranded themselves to become the kind of person they are today. That's dedication. That's hard work. Now what Logan's doing.
That's a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing amazing as a superstar. for Cody Rhodes, the undisputed champion. Who do you have for tomorrow to be winning? Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul, the United States champion. For only what's on the line is the undisputed WWE title. And I know both our answers is Cody Rhodes. Am I right?
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a no-brainer right there. Even if both titles were on the line, the answer still would have been Cody Rhodes. There's
So
no way they're gonna have him lose that title with all these big matches heading his way, especially when certain people come back.
that is true. So we have a certain few people coming back. But without further ado, Cody will be winning, will be retaining his championship 100%. Me and Drop is 100% believing this W. But we have two short stories to talk about. One short story involves a previous opponent of the undisputed champion. We have AJ Styles demanding of whoever wins tomorrow, he wants to have a crack at them. Coming soon. But Nick Aldis had to be like, yo, as a fan, I agree. I support you. Yes, AJ Styles. But as professionally, I cannot agree to that. AJ Styles kept telling Nick Aldis that I don't have time to be waiting. I don't have time to earn it. Nick Aldis like, well, that's not my problem. So, Drop, how did you feel about this? How did you feel about AJ Styles desperately working for the title shot once more, but trying to skip the line?
Well, he's not wrong. He doesn't really have that much time yet because AJ's going to be retiring soon. So he's trying to throw in as much as he possibly can before he hangs up his boots. So that's why you have this storyline being played out with him and Nick Aldis right now. And JD actually brought up something very interesting, which shout out to JD. But I ended up watching his Monday Night Raw review, and he brought up something that was very important that was going on Raw. And I sort of had the same idea that he had, where he was talking about how on Raw you got things out of control with Braun. He's pretty much making his own decisions, and he's just doing things on his own behalf because he's pissed off that he's not a part of the King of the Ring tournament. So he's attacking people. He's starting a whole bunch of drama. So we see this segment tonight where AJ's trying to get through with Nick Aldis saying, listen, I really need this opportunity. I don't have much time left. So that's starting to tell me that JD mentioned in his video that we could possibly see a trade between Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, where Adam Pearce gives Nick Aldis Braun Breaker, and then Nick Aldis gives AJ to Adam Pearce, only because things aren't looking the way they want. Like maybe with Braun being on Nick Aldis, okay, things will go in his favor now. He'll actually start to calm down. And then with AJ, maybe there's more opportunities over there for him on Raw where he can actually go for a title like the World Heavyweight Championship. Because realistically, with all of these champions, with all of these opponents lined up for Cody on SmackDown, Cody's not going to be losing that championship anytime soon. Like, I honestly don't think he's losing that championship at all this year. He might not even he might even walk into WrestleMania next year with that exact title. That's how confident I am that Cody's going to be champion for quite some time, especially with how long he's held the title. So at least if AJ hypothetically was traded to Raw, he would have opportunities there where he could actually have a legitimate chance to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And then there's also other people on that roster that he's never came in contact with before. Like, imagine like Ilya Dragunov and AJ, or AJ Styles and Gunther, or AJ Styles and Sami Zayn, or AJ Styles with Drew McIntyre, or like CM Punk, stuff like that. That would be very interesting to see matches like that played out. So that's where I'm on with this whole AJ segment,
So,
where it's starting to tell me that maybe if AJ's not, maybe AJ's trying to get through with Nick Aldis saying, "Listen, I got to do this now. I don't have much time." Maybe if things aren't going through with Nick Aldis and it's not really clicking the way that AJ wants to, maybe he thinks if he goes to Adam Pearce, he might actually have a legitimate chance to do something, if you get what I mean.
no, I agree with you 100%. I did not see that vision. We did briefly discuss about that this past Monday Night Raw on the podcast coverage. However, I didn't think of the AJ Styles being the trade-off person. Uh, that's an interesting viewpoint for that, and I stand behind it. I am agree with 100% with what you said, and I support what you said about JD because gives a good viewpoint of AJ Styles being transitioning over to Raw. He gets more opportunities and he gets possibly more title shots. And I agree. Cody is fucking keeping that title until next year WrestleMania. I said in my theory that he might lose it next year at Backlash, and I'm okay with that. Anything that he does after the following year to defend that title, I'm okay if he loses it right after the next day of Monday Night Raw, or lose it right at Backlash. I'm okay because he held it for the year. He put good matches, and if the story continues, I'm okay with it. I just don't want it to be like a whole 2-3 year type of title reign because I want other superstars to get their moment to shine. Cody right now, this is his moment. Like he said it on the podcast, off the mic, I believe, is the wrestling podcast with Mark Henry and two other people I can't remember right now at the top of my head.
Are you talking about Bustin' Up Radio?
Yeah, that one. Uh, Cody Rhodes said that he's a bit upset he didn't get to have the United States Championship on the line and become a Grand Slam. But he said that he still got time and he could go back for the title anytime. So that means we know after this champion he loses, he's definitely going to go for the U.S. title right after.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At least it gives him like another direction to head down. So people are like,
So,
oh, just because. Yeah, because then you're gonna have those people saying, "Oh, Cody lost the title. Now what?" Well, he already referenced before he's never won the U.S. title,
Exactly.
and he wants to become a Grand Slam champion. So he's gonna go through with it. And then you obviously he's just doing it to set a goal for himself. And then people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's back to mid card now with that title."
No, he's going to
Look at
take that U.S. title and actually mean something by then.
exactly,
If
and
nobody
you
had made it important by then, Cody Rhodes will.
exactly, and you're looking at one of the most iconic wrestlers of all time that held that title before. And I don't want you calling him a main eventer. That's John Cena.
Yes.
John,
Cena has made it
not calling him a main eventer. So just because John Cena held that title doesn't mean he's a mid carder. John Cena ain't no mid carder.
Hell no.
But just
Males are facing over 10 years straight.
Sheamus is a main event talent. He's been a world champion before, but he wants an IC title to complete that goal of becoming a Grand Slam champion as well. These wrestlers have goals that they want to achieve. Just because they win a certain title doesn't mean it's beneath them. I mean, look at Gunther, for example, the IC title. He made that feel like a main event title, and he is main event material, but nobody looked down on him. So to look down on Cody Rhodes when he eventually loses that WWE title, which is not going to be for quite some time, but still.
Like we said, AJ Styles is going to be upset with Nick Aldis. We're going to see things turning up over the next couple weeks to see what interaction heats up, or does it finally get cooled down, or does he get his moment and again tries to skip the line. So it's going to be intriguing with that. The next short story is going back to our girl, the EST, Bianca Belair. She was just out there chilling. Her knee was hurting. And then we have two possible opponents for the tag team title match, which got confirmed at the end of the show.
Yep.
That will be happening at the pre-show countdown tomorrow. And it will be Bianca Belair with her tag team partner, Jade Cargill, versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. How do we feel about this drop?
It's just lunch for Bianca and Jade.
Yep. It's literally a quick lunch because two people want to talk their shit, and Jade said it seems like somebody wants to take off their wig or some type of line that sounded great. I'm like, okay, Jade. She said that you're about to give the hands, and you will tomorrow, or technically the foot.
Yeah, because you look at it already. They already have number one contenders lined up for them that we saw with Zoe and Shayna on Monday.
So it gives no reason for them to lose.
Exactly, and they're not going to even lose to them either. Like I mentioned before, the only way that Jade and Bianca are losing these titles is if they get into a conflict with one another. Otherwise, they're going to have those titles for a long time. So no matter who comes across them, they're going to beat every single opponent.
The only thing we gotta hope for is some good matches, and Jade continues to get better and continues improving on live TV or on the side, just for the audience itself, and with what's going on.
Exactly.
We have that's the end of our short stories of the backstage of the segments. Did I miss anything else other than the two matches that we're about to end the show with? Right? I didn't miss anything else.
Um, there was the backstage segment with the Profits and BFAB, unless you want to save that until we get into the other segment to talk about.
Correct. So all right. So it seems like that's all.
Yeah.
So for the first match, we're gonna start with is Chelsea Green versus Bayley, who is the women's WWE champion that will be defending her belt tomorrow. Right? Is it?
Oh no. Oh no, she's off.
Oh no, she's off. Never mind. She's off. I thought that she was.
Yeah, she's chilling
She's chilling.
until probably until actual Class of the Castle, which I have a good idea who her opponent's going to be for that, just based off of this match.
That is true. So Piper, we're gonna see you doing something next month then.
Yep, Piper Niven and Bayley. I mean, Piper Niven is Scottish, so more than likely they're gonna run a match with her and Bayley in Scotland.
Which
So
which
that
I'm okay
definitely
with.
seems.
I'm
Yeah,
happy.
I'm okay with.
I'm happy they're pushing Piper. They've been doing real well with her dynamic with Chelsea Green and with what's uh with the singles run, with what's been happening with the Royal Rumble early this year. So like they've been doing good stuff with Piper and Chelsea Green, and they've been entertaining. The Chelsea Green match versus Bayley, it is what it was, entertaining. It gave us Bayley to get a W, and it gave Piper to say, "Hey, this ain't how it is." Boom, smack her down, and it starts a feud. It starts next week, promos and the build up. Cause now we have a 4 week type of promo and build up for the next opponents, and that's what Drop was talking about earlier. That after WrestleMania, it felt they only had 2-3 weeks for each of these PLE. That feels so short, and it doesn't get enough build up to actually feel any type of importance of the big question, like who will stay champion, who will retain. But most of us knows who will, so it doesn't have any stakes. But now with Piper and Bayley might be cooking something, so I'm kind of excited that we're gonna have a good 4 weeks until build up. So that's something that I'm excited for, and the girls did a good match. It was straightforward and simple. I feel like they got the job done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much to really say. I mean, it was
All
just
right.
a match. Chelsea, Bayley, they went at it. Bayley came on top, just pretty much setting up the match between Piper Niven and Bayley. That's honestly all it really was.
Well, like perfectly said, not all it was, because this is the end of our other segment of the night. Is the Grayson Waller effect with his co-host Austin Theory. It started off slow. Started off, Grayson Waller trying to be the host he is, trying to tell the audience what they're about to see, who's the hype of the super mega star that they're about to have for the guest of tonight's show, of the Grayson Waller effect. He's trying to give the Grayson Rob, you're trying to give the extra views.
That sounds so weird.
I know, right? I hate it how he always says, I'm like, can you find a different catchphrase? Like, it does not work well as much as you think, Grayson. It does not.
Like
And
we,
I love
like
how
we,
they played the
like,
music and then Carmelo Hayes came out.
yeah. I mean, at least they have Carmelo doing something, so it's not like he's in a nothing feud with like a person who doesn't really get that much screen time on there. At least they have Melo doing something, and they obviously see a lot in Melo because they had him main event like 2 shows
Back to back.
for SmackDown, where and he had opponents like Cody and Randy already, so that's already and he's like teasing something with Bobby in the future, and now he's getting into a little scruffle with LA Knight, so that's already telling you that they have like a lot of big plans for him moving forward, which makes sense because he's going to be one of their future stars in the company once all these other people that you see on the screen all the time isn't there anymore.
Man, this man Carmelo, his tweets been funny because he knows what the memes are. He knows what the audience is saying of how he's been smacking bald-headed dudes, and he literally posted a tweet right after last week Friday after he fought Randy. He said, "Who's next?" Everyone in the comment section of his tweet was like, "Bobby, Bobby, Bobby." So everyone was waiting for Carmelo to go against Bobby and just smack that dude in the head.
Oh my god.
And I just love that because he knows how to play the heel. He knows how to be
Yeah.
the Kurt Carmelo Hayes he is. Like when he came out, he said that like, "Hey, is you got the megastar, not LA Knight. You got me, him. I'm the person that will be for you guys tonight, the better version of the megastar." So I love that very much. It came out to show how much the vibe that Carmelo Hayes that he believes he is. My man could talk to talk and he could walk to walk. And after that, Alan Knight came through. He said, "Nah, nah." All three of them jumped Alan Knight. And who came out to defend him? The Street Profits. Because Street Profits was like, "Nah, Carmelo, you was talking all this shit about Bobby and everything. We was trying to give you wisdom and everything." Carmelo threw shade when Montez Ford was on the bump last week. So the Street Profits said, "Nah, you're gonna continue talking all this shit. We're gonna come here and jump you just because you jumped in somebody else." And then after the commercial, it became a 3-on-3. Street Profits with LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes and A-Town Down Under.
One of the things I do like about this segment
Talk to
is
me.
I like how Grayson and Austin Theory are making it pretty apparent how some people feel online within the community with LA not winning a title yet. Where
Yes.
people were because you see that. Well, I don't say it, but you see people online always complaining, saying stuff like, "Oh, LA Knight hasn't won the big one before. He hasn't accomplished anything since being a part of WWE. Like he hasn't won a tag title or a singles championship, like a United States Intercontinental or a world title." So I like how they're making it like pretty apparent. So that goes to show that they are seeing what people see online.
Yep.
It's not like they're ignoring what people see online, what say online. They're actually making it pretty apparent.
They're self-aware, and I'm very
Yeah,
happy with that because it shows that, hey, we know he's a megastar. He's still here. He's still at the PLEs. He's still traveling. He's still doing what these things are, and he's still main eventing. Even though he hasn't main evented in a couple weeks, but he still is
excuse me.
the megastar that he called himself. He still is attractive by the audience. He still gets the pop. So I feel like it has not died down. The audience has a point. What we're waiting for, LA Knight to go one-on-one on SummerSlam. I'm still waiting for that announcement. I'm still waiting for that build-up. We got the contact last week. I just want the continuation of that build-up. LA Knight versus Logan Paul. Can't wait for that. I hope it happens. I believe it in SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's more than likely going to happen at SummerSlam because that's where SummerSlam's taking place in Logan Paul's hometown.
Yep.
So more than likely, that's got to be the match there. because they did the same thing last year where they teased Roman and Cody, and you knew Triple H was doing it for a reason because he had future plans for the both of them. So obviously, with that whole stare down between Logan and LA, it wasn't for nothing. Obviously, LA is gonna have like a couple other people that he's gonna have to deal with first, and then eventually, when the time comes, we're gonna start getting that build up between Logan and LA Knight, and then LA Knight's gonna end up being the one that knocks off the title on Logan, and then he gets his first championship right there. And keep in mind, LA Knight's contract, I'm not sure if he signed an extension yet, but I believe it was said around like early 2025. That's when his contract ends. So more than likely, they're going to throw a buttload of money towards him. So he's not going to be going anywhere. And then eventually down the line, he will be getting a world title because they wouldn't mention all of that stuff on TV if they weren't going to eventually give him a world title run in the near future. Like, it's definitely coming. It's just when it happens, you just gotta wait and see what's going to be going on with that. But at least he's getting some sort of title from Logan Paul, so he could at least have that title feel important in some way.
A question I want to ask: what's your match card prediction for both pay per view? Which was we're talking about because we already gave our prediction for the King of the Ring,
Oh,
Queen of the Ring, and we already gave our predictions for the
oh,
Cody and Logan match.
I
Um,
can't. I can do it again. Let me
yeah,
see.
but
Let me
but
load up the thing on my
if
TV, and not TV, computer.
if you're talking about the PI for tomorrow, we already gave that, but we don't mind giving the rundown
Oh,
when we give our SmackDown overall thoughts because that's
I
like
think
right around the corner.
when he says both pay-per-views, I think he might be referring to double or nothing
Oh yeah, this
on
weekend as
Sunday for
well.
AEW.
I haven't seen that match card. I've seen a few of the match card, but I don't know all of them. So
Yeah,
I cannot help you. And Drop don't watch AEW as much or that often.
yeah,
So we we
but
don't we don't have the conversation for that.
yeah, but let me see. Let me just look at the match card real quick, just to get like a.
So while Drops has that, we could wrap up the conversation of this 3-on-3 match, so we could give our SmackDown a roll, and then repeat our predictions for the PLE for tomorrow. So
Yeah,
for the 3-on-3 match, guys, like how it happened, LA Knight won with the Street Profits versus the A-Town Down Under with Kamala Hayes, which was pretty interesting because I remember I was talking about it. It's weird when we have a champion taking a loss when technically they're the WWE Tag Team Champions. So it was pretty weird when Grayson took the pin. That's something that I didn't expect to get.
I'm assuming they only did that just because it's setting them up to be their next contenders. That's why you had
Makes
DIY
sense, yes.
interact with them and backstage
Makes
saying that
sense.
they're also coming after those titles too.
Yeah, yeah. So, like Jeff just said, that right after that match in the backstage moment, we had again Kayla Braxton doing her job, asking like, "Hey, how do you guys feel about this?" And like Montez Ford and Angela Dawson, not excited, showing the enthusiasm of what they feel about this, and saying what it is and the facts that hey, we're taking the W. You got us. You got us last time. Now we came here for the W, and it is what it is. They're gonna go for the title next. They are gonna be the next number one contender. Will they take the title? We're about to see what happens. But guess who showed up right after? It was DIY. It was Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, and they were saying like, "Hey, just speaking professionalism, hey, we like you guys. We fuck with you guys. Nice cup you got here. You know, you always got like some type of nice drink, type of liquor inside this drink. But again, speaking of professionalism, if we want the titles, and that is our goal to become the WWE Tag Team Champion, we gotta go through you if we want to get to them, right? Well, we'll be seeing you soon." And Tommaso literally just spills the cup slowly. I was like, damn. We're getting spicy, but I love that. We're starting small feuds, and everyone's stories progress. Mid card people, champion people, everyone's story could progress even during a a different country segment, even a story segment involving the future stories of the next couple weeks. So I love that the writing, everyone is getting involved and getting their moment. So I'm very happy about that. Drop any last thoughts about the segment? Seeing DIY, DIY says their shit, saying that hey, we're coming through you, and we have to get it to get the title. Is gonna get done.
Um, Not really, honestly. Like, it's just setting up more contenders for that title. Really, I don't really have much to say on that. Like, if just to sum it up overall, it was just like it's I can't really say like typical. I guess you could say like a typical go home show for like SmackDown. So I didn't really feel any special because, as you guys probably noticed, me and Vash sped through this show pretty quickly because other than like the Queen the semifinals for the Queen and men's tournament, there really wasn't anything else in this episode besides Cody and Logan that was really that special that like stood out.
Yeah, Chad. Like, know this. Yes. Did we
It felt
speed run?
flat.
Like, did we speed run this episode? Not really. The thing is, there's a 2-hour SmackDown that literally only have 5 topics that it was quick to talk about. Me and Drop, me and Watkins, we already predicted who was gonna win. We had 1 or 2 options, like we said at the beginning. You know what, guys? We already wrap it up. Let's get to SmackDown overall thoughts. So this is what it is. We knew that if Gunther won this past Monday, Randy was gonna win this Friday. If Lyra won this past Monday, Nia was gonna be winning. With Bianca, it was a 50-50, but it was definitely Nia. She won and did her thing. So we already knew where it was gonna go. And at the end of the day, the show itself, we didn't talk too much. We get to the point. We talk about the segment. We gave our predictions. We gave our theories on the show on the future weeks. We see what's going to be happening. So we still gave you a show, but at the end of the day, we gave the conversation, and that's what matters. We gave our thoughts. We wrap it up. We gave to the point because we also don't want to have a 2-hour show when it doesn't need to be. So for SmackDown and Raw, it was entertaining. Was it flat? Yes, but it was predictable. It's because we know what's coming. So I'm more excited to know what's happening next week. What is going to be the build-up for the next couple of weeks now for Clash of the Castle? Because we have Drew face, front, and cover. We have Piper going to be the next person versus Bayley. So I'm really excited for that. We have Cody. Really curious to see who's Cody's opponent for Clash of the Castle is going to be. So it's going to be the next exciting couple of weeks. For this one, not saying SmackDown was a 0 out of 10 or 0 out of 5, but it was a solid 6, solid 7 out of 10, a solid 3.5 out of 5. It was solid. It gave the show its purpose of the semifinals of King and Queen. It gave the promo work of Cody and Logan. No matter if it was comedy, it still gave its job done. And we gave a future opponent for Bayley, executed well. And we have a 3-on-3 with 6 people, 6 players, a champion, and a future champions down the road. So I feel like SmackDown, it was predictable, but got the job done. It delivered, and I was entertained, and that's what fucking matters. How about you, Drop? How did you feel about the SmackDown overall thoughts, overall? And then we could wrap it out by repeating our predictions for tomorrow.
Like you said, I thought it was like a decent show. Honestly, it did what it needed to do. The only things we really wanted to know coming into this show was the winners for the semifinals, which we got, which was Randy and Nia. So now we have those matches set up for King and Queen of the Ring for the finals. So we'll see who ends up coming out on top of that. The only other thing I was going to mention that I spoke about earlier that I wasn't able to discuss in the first part of our segment, since we're giving our overall thoughts on here, I thought it's only fitting for me to include it here, is one of the other things I did forget to mention is that Nia was naming all of her accomplishments of people that she managed to beat, where she talked about how she beat Becky, she beat Bianca, and she beat I can't remember the other names that she mentioned, but she pretty much mentioned like a lot of big names that she managed to pretty much like come out on top with. So those were the only other things that really stood out to me that could potentially give Lyra a little more edge, considering that she's just bragging about all the people that she beat. So having Lyra beat Nia, that would be something, because it's like you're looking at this girl that ran through all these top players in the women's division, and then you have this newbie coming out of nowhere stealing your thunder. That's definitely something.
A beautiful
That was the
transition for that as well. There's one more thing we forgot to talk about. A little small short story. We finally got a promo work for Blair Davenport that has been
Oh yeah.
drafted to SmackDown. We haven't got no promo work, no backstory, anything of her character. We finally got it. How did you feel about to finally see her character being shown on SmackDown and a video package for it? Now that we finally may see her next week on SmackDown, seeing probably her first match. How do you feel about that?
I'm honestly happy that she's getting a video package so people know who she is.
Yeah,
And I thought she was originally going to be part of this whole thing,
yeah, we
because
did.
if you're having people like Mello and Lyra being a part of
Ron.
these things, even yeah, I mean, you already have all these other people being a part of this tournament, so there's no excuse how you could have just slotted her in, even if she hypothetically lost. At least that gave her some sort of like showcase within that tournament. But brushing to that to the side, I honestly feel now looking back at it, they're probably just waiting to get this pay-per-view out of the way so they could give some focus on her. I would hope by next Friday she gets like her debut match or something.
It's gonna be interesting, and I'm excited to see a video package for her. The one person I can't wait to see on Monday is our boy Dijak. We have not seen no video package for him
Oh yeah,
yet.
that's another one.
I'm
Like
like,
that's
my guy,
another
where are
one.
you? Like, are you taking a vacation or something? Like, what the fuck? Like, come back
Yeah,
already.
be careful. You might ratio our stream
My
because
dude,
I know.
come
'Cause
here. I don't mind your ratio.
no, I don't
If
mind it
anything,
either.
if anything, come
I
be a
ain't.
guest on the stream. I would love to have a whole discussion with you because your match
Oh
is
yeah.
amazing. Your love for the sport, your love
Oh
for that
yeah.
moonsault is amazing. So I would love to have a discussion on you.
Oh yeah.
And
Dijak's awesome. I honestly just want to see him on like Monday Night Raw. I want to see what he's
exactly.
doing.
I just want to
That's
see
another one. That's another one. I was
him versus
surprised that
Gunther.
wasn't.
Fuck, that would be amazing.
And if even if AJ goes over to Raw, you could have AJ and Dijak.
Oh my god, that
But
would be
it's
an awesome
but
match.
it's like but that's another name that could have been a part of this King of the Ring tournament. You could have put Dijak in there.
Who knows? Probably said people are, busy or trying to
Maybe they have bigger
transition.
plans for them. Maybe they have bigger
Exactly, or
plans.
they're trying to
Yeah.
transition into their new schedule, traveling. All these things have to also get approved. So who knows? All these logistics happen. But talking about
Yep.
logistics, SmackDown or Raw Thoughts has ended. Our last thing is to repeat our PoE prediction drop. Started off first with what's our match card for tomorrow?
All right. So looking right here,
Talk to
our
us.
match card is so we got the one pre-show match which is Bianca and Jade versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. I'm honestly gonna give it to Bianca and Jade because, like I said
Same.
before, as
100%.
long as they're cooperating with one another, there's no way that they're going to be losing these titles. So that's an easy win for them. And also, you got to add that they already have number one contenders for those titles already. So why would you have them lose that match to Candice and Indy? Eve, that's just random.
Yeah, like
And then we got
random
good.
that happened literally like 12 hours ago. Like, okay, you came
And
out.
then we got Gunther versus Randy, which that one's more
Yep.
50-50. So that one can go either way.
5-0,
But
5-0. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, just to stick with my original thought process, I'm gonna say Gunther because
Oh,
he's tailor fit to win this thing. I mean, it's in his nickname, the Ring General. So why wouldn't he become the King of the Ring? It's only fitting. It would nice to have on his whole resume. It only makes sense to me. But at the same time, like I said, it could go to Randy because they made this somewhat unpredictable. So
so
they have future plans for both of them. But I'm gonna say Gunther.
if you're gonna go Gunther, I'm gonna go Randy.
Yeah.
We'll find out what happens next.
So the other match we have is Lyra versus Naya. And this one I'm a little torn on only because Naya seems like very cocky right now. And she's listing all of her accomplishments of like the kind of people that she fought, like I mentioned before, beating Becky and beating Bianca and beating Jade, even though you technically didn't beat Jade, it was disqualification. But still, she was listing her accomplishments of all these big names that she happened to beat before. So I'm gonna say I wanna say Naya, but I'm gonna say Lyra now.
Okay, I'm gonna still say Naya, but by 55% and Lyra 45%.
Yeah. I mean I realistically I could see it being Naya, but I'm just gonna stick with my gut because I don't really want to mess around with my whole thought process right now. I mean,
I
if Nia wins, I wouldn't be surprised because I
same.
could definitely see it coming and it makes sense. But at the same time, that whole unpredictability thing that happens in wrestling, it'd be a very interesting turn of events if that was the case.
Yes, it would.
I mean, that's definitely one hell of a main roster debut if she does manage to come out on top like that. I'll say that.
Oh, I would love if she does win. I would love for her dress to be all black, like a queen dress to be all
Oh
black.
yeah.
Like that'd be perfect for her role, for her body and everything. Like it would
Oh
literally,
yeah.
you know, fit the character that she is.
Yeah.
All right, next match card.
Yeah. Becky Lynch versus Mid Morgan.
Damn.
Um, no, I don't have any like the I don't have anything against Liv or
I
anything.
know. I
But
know it's all jokes. Live. We love you. We'd love to interview you as well, and you, the man, as well, Becky Lynch. We would love to have a full conversation with you. Both you ladies are great at your jobs,
but
great professionalism. Liv,
but
I think is my choice. Is like if you don't have Liv win, it's like how the fuck are you gonna continue her revenge tour? Like this is
yeah.
all she talks about. It's like
See, here's
if
the
you don't
yeah
give it to Liv, it's like you're making her feel her words hold no value, and that's not good when she's
yeah
not in main eventer like Becky or Rhea right now. Like Liv has been out of commission for a bit, so you do need to reestablish her and get her on a good foot ground. And if you have her lose this one, it's like, girl, you're not. Your words are not holding no weight. Like
yeah yeah. I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna say Liv as well because all I really want to know after this is like okay, what's after what like what else is happening throughout this whole entire like revenge tour. It's like Becky said on Monday. It's like okay,
what's next?
after okay, yeah, she's like, okay, what's next after your revenge tour? Like, what sort of path are you gonna follow? This is what I want to see. What are you gonna do after you hold that championship?
Yeah,
And like we alluded to before, you have all these different stories being set up for either outcome within the tournament. So hypothetically, if Liv does win, she's already teasing some shit with Lyra, so they could easily do something with that. And then if Lyra doesn't win, she has stuff with Io. So there's like a lot of stuff that can go on with this. But yeah, I'm gonna say Liv.
same. I'm hoping
And I
Liv.
will say this. I will say this. I honestly feel like Liv might be a transitional champion only because when Rhea comes back, I could see Rhea getting that title back from her.
I just hope it gets executed well. That's why I hope that
Yeah, yeah, I hope so
I
too.
hope it doesn't
It's
look.
just
I hope it doesn't look messy with the
yeah,
traditional, and I hope that Liv gets
yeah,
the reign longer than what Becky is. Like, Hopefully, Rhea
Yeah.
comes back by
What
SummerSlam or by September or after. Like, don't make Liv feel like all this work that she did, the revenge tour and everything, feel like it was meaningless. Like, this will hurt her
I
character
will say
more
that,
than that.
yeah, I will say this though. Like, I am expecting this to be a better run than she had before
Agreed.
when she won the title off of Ronda. I definitely expect it to be better than that.
Even though I wasn't there during that time watching, but I hear a lot of people complain. I heard about as well from my team, dropping Watkins about it. So I understand the complaints about it. I just wasn't there
Hmm.
during that time to actually have an opinion of it. But in the next
Hmm.
20 years, I would have been watching it from now because by the time I'll have kid and I will show my kids on the past 20, 40 years of pro wrestling. So Liv, both for me and Drop, that's who our prediction for her for the world heavyweight title of the women's on Raw. And now we have our main event, right? Is that our last match card?
We have Sammy, Chad,
Ah,
and Bronson Reed. In this match,
this is
I'll
definitely
say
Sammy.
Sammy.
Yep.
Yeah, because I could see Bronson taking the pin in this. I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why he might be in this match, because I feel like they're probably going to want to protect Gabe a little longer.
I wonder what's like. Do we
And
continue?
Otis is going to probably ruin Gable's chances of winning the
Yes,
title on this
that was a
too.
prediction. Yes, Otis will be involved and he will give the fall on
Yeah, because it
Chad.
does say right here, Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable with Otis
Ooh,
versus Bronson Reed.
so they're adding that little extra emphasis on it. So definitely for sure, Otis will play a key factor, and then Chad Gable will be continuing with the Creed brothers. Yeah, that is definitely the vision on Monday. I bet
Yeah.
you that's what happened on Monday. The little boom, snapping the finger of the Creed brothers with Chad Gable.
Yep.
And then after that is the match card. Is that the main event now?
Yep. Cody and Logan, and my prediction for that is Cody.
Yeah, Cody
And
got it.
Cody,
That's an
like we
obvious
said
answer.
before, Cody's not losing that title for a long time.
Yeah, like we said earlier, always are the time codes down below in the description. They're probably not there in the last 5 episodes of the podcast, but they will be there by Sunday or the Monday before Raw. All the podcasts will be having their time codes, so definitely stay tuned for that if you guys are catching up to our show. And definitely, as always, share them out. I appreciate it. But that is our predictions for the PLE of the King and Queen tournament of the ring. And we appreciate you listening. Any last thoughts, kid, before I transition out to the outro?
No, that's all my thoughts. Go right ahead.
All right, guys, as always, thank you for taking the time out of your day or night or evening or afternoon, whenever you're listening to the show. And appreciate to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, why not exactly do what I said? We're known as AniMa W3 Studio on all social media platforms, like below on the headliner on the lower third, at Legendary Vash, at Drop This Box, and at Watkins MW. If he's not here, it's because he's at MomoCon. So if you want to check him out and catch him, take a picture with him, tell him the great stuff that you like about Weebs of the Ring, all the bad stuff you don't like about Weebs of the Ring. Tell us how to get better, because your comments are important, your opinions are important. So definitely check it out and appreciate it. A big shout out also to Mike Check Waifu. I see King Teliano down below in the comments. One of the best podcasts out there that is week to week, that give you weekly seasonal review of shows that's going on all anime related, and they also give you a mid ranking, a season ranking of each of the anime season. So definitely go check that out. I will have their link below as well in the description. And without further ado, also use the hashtag of Weebs of the Ring to interact with us on all type of the social media outlets regarding the wrestling before, during, or after our show. And feedback is always appreciated, as we're nothing without you. Like I said, comment down below, like our friends and family, and our friends are in the chat. Much love, bro. Keep Italiano as always. You guys are the best. And Weebs of the Ring is presented by AniMa W3 Studio. Thanks to the production team of myself, of Drop This Box, Watkins, and the rest of the team itself. And a special thanks to everyone that's been watching, supporting, and thank you very much. for joining us. And remember, no stunts granny. We're harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, everyone. We see you on this Monday, Night Raw for sure, and maybe Sunday evening for the PLE coverage. We'll keep you posted. Who knows? Schedule shit happens. We're busy this weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend. So, we'll see you in the next one.
All right. Peace out, guys. Have a good night.